What remind me what place you finished, by the way. Third. Okay, yeah. So it was what's his name? Milholland, then John Milholland, then you. Okay. Hmm. We're not streaming yet, right? Okay, cool. Well, I just want to make sure, like in case I wanted to shit on people, it sounds like now's not the time.
Boy. And we are back. Back from Oklahoma. Hello, everybody. Good to see you again. I got my boy Darkwing Deck, aka Patrick here,
What's up?
and just gonna do like a little tournament recap for everybody, just to tell everybody where our heads at. I'm sporting the top four. Matt here.
No big
We
deal.
Yeah, no big deal at all. Let me put these in the right order. These have a specific order, and all right. This one beats minnows. What, six? Yeah. All right. So yeah, Pat, I'll let you take it away since I'm actually the one being interviewed today. I'm actually pretty excited for this.
Yeah, the tables have both figuratively and literally turned. Um, Oklahoma was obviously building arc.
Yep.
When Build an Arc first was announced, were you thinking? I mean, before you decided to go to Tulsa, what were you thinking of Build an Arc? I know what I was thinking, and I think it was the same thing you were thinking. What were you thinking?
Well, initially I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. We pick three. I felt it was a little limited just because you only got one 200 set, but it also brought out like the deck builder in me.
Hmm.
I was like really excited until somebody informed me that dogs is in the format, and kind of just sunk from there. And it went to what can beat dogs reliably, and obviously we everybody tested what they could, but ultimately it wasn't a very long list.
Yeah. They're kind of like I mean for the science geeks out there, they're like a black hole, a gravity well. Like you're inevitably drawn towards it. Either you're going to play it or you're going to play something that you think can beat it. And realistically, there's a good chance you're going to be wrong because they're typically the best deck in the format.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things where you sorry, allergies. It's one of
Okay.
those things where like if you're testing like probabilities and stuff, it's like, all right, this deck has like a pretty good chance to beat dogs, and maybe let's go up to like 50% or something like that. But then you look at what dogs have, and you're like, oh, they have about a 90% chance to get whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I know you were hitting the books. I know you did. You looked at dogs. You looked at Atom. You looked at Rogue. You looked at like five other decks, and you ended up back on
And
dogs.
yeah, ended up back
Mhm.
on dogs. It was pretty interesting, especially with Adam, because Adam is one of those decks where it's like, all right, well, I'm going to sleep. You can't stun me. There's nothing you could do. I think in almost every one of my testing sessions where I had Adam, I pretty much just lost the game as soon as I woke up. Like, so,
Nightmare.
yeah, it was pretty bad, honestly. When it came down to what the package was for Adam, we were running Civil War because we
Hmm.
figured we needed to ramp.
Hmm.
Obviously, what is it? Cosmic Guardians that Adam's in.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
Galactic Guardian. Yeah.
Galactic Guardian. Sorry, and then Crossover One. And really, the only reason we were running Crossover One was for DP,
Hmm.
and I also had in my deck the Cosmic Spider Man because my thought process was, you removing keywords, he's literally just a 25/25 with flight. So
Yep.
that was my thought process, and Every single time we got to it, I went to sleep. Dogs were like, okay, now we're just gonna sit here and be cute. Um, it got to the point where he was being picked up on turn 6, and then just completely getting stunned. And this guy right here, this guy is like
Yeah,
the MVP of that deck. It was annoying.
yeah. No, it's he Adam has some of his kit. He doesn't have all of his kit, and I
Right.
remember in testing we were finding that basically you would need to god draw for Adam. You would need to ramp twice. You would have to have the dog player not draw well, and then you would have to go first. And it's just
Yeah.
like I mean that's the probabilities were just not matching up. I'm no mathematician, but it didn't add up.
Yeah, there was nothing going on there. It's like everything that you wanted to do against dogs specifically, you kind of needed like a perfect draw for it, and that was just never going to happen, right? Like it maybe you can get it off once or twice, but honestly, the dog package that I was testing against, I honestly actually don't even think it's the best dog package. I think
Right.
it's the dog package that counters everything else that gets people out of dogs, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the dog package that we were testing against was running whatever set the dogs were in. Completely forgot. X Files and MCU villains, I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah, MCU villains. And the problem with Adam, where he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to sleep, um, is Langley. So we had nothing to counter Langley. Langley would come out on 2, and then or they don't even have to come out on 2 as long as they came out before your second ramp. So Langley could have came out uh on their turn 4. Like say I went first, they go and then they get to turn 3, and then they put Langley down, and then they just start powering up Langley with Forhike and Briars, and you lose. I think on average, I was losing 4 to 5 cards whenever they did that,
Yeah.
and almost every time, like you need 2 bishops, 2 blues. Almost every time, I would wind up with one or the other,
Mhm.
or two of one, and then I would just be sitting there with my thumbs tied, and there's nothing I could do, you know.
Yeah. So let me see. You're like I see that you're giving it to us slow. The deck
Yeah,
listing
yeah,
is
yeah. I'm talking and sorting. I'm sorry, guys. I'm talking and
almost
sorting.
ready. Um, no. So let me see. What was my other question? Oh yeah. So start taking us through while you're still sorting. Take us through the rounds. So who'd you have round one?
So round one, I actually played against Ryan Mullihan. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I probably butchered it. I'm sorry, bro.
Mill Holland, I believe.
Mill Holland. It's like
There you
Valhalla, only better. No,
go.
played against him. It was a mirror match. He played dogs. I think we were identical in our list except for maybe 4 cards. He ran Scourge, which is a 2 drop, pay a red, Negs, which is a
Mhm.
great idea. I obviously didn't think of it because I didn't really test the
Mhm.
mirror too much. But and it came down to who's going to draw the Yandus because in a mirror match, 2 Yandus and 1 round of attacks means you win. Like that's just what it is. So we ended
And
up,
that was brutal. I mean, it's I mean, I
yeah,
know we were talking to some other people about this. Like it's like dogs are bad enough, but the idea that you're in a format where like there's going to be a lot of dogs, you're going to face at least a couple of mirrors,
hmm
and in the mirror match, whoever draws the Yondu wins. That sucks. I
yeah,
mean,
it sucks so much.
yeah, it's just it's really like a flip of the coin because like I mean he was running gunman, you were running gunman. Like most people I think who are on dogs knew that it was probably a good idea to run gunman. So
Absolutely.
you run gunman and whoever so you have some reliability, you have some I need your help, but whoever gets Yandu first wins sucks.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's how our matchup went. I believe he won the die roll. Immediately I was like, "All right, what's my outs?" Cuz he won the die roll, right? Like once you win the die roll, you just start figuring, "Well, I got this," especially if you're playing dogs.
Yeah.
Um he went first. He swung on turn 1 like he's supposed to do. All my guys were face down. Uh I'm sorry, all his guys were face down on his turn. So
Mhm.
then on my turn, my dog's just sitting there with wounds. Turn 2, he got the Yondu, stunned my board. Turn 3, I mean, my turn two. I'm not gonna attack into him. His guys have one wound. I have two,
Right.
and sure enough, he just recruited another Yondu, and that was it. There's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I know those feel bad, but at the same time, it's like the one saving grace is it's like it's not that you played bad, it's that the variance happened.
Right. Like I came into that tournament knowing that eventually I'm gonna have to fight another dog, and if I win the die roll, I have a high percentage of winning. If I lose the die roll, I'm probably gonna lose. Like it just is what it
Yeah.
is.
So quick side note, tell to go through the deck for us. So we know your main character, and then
Yep.
give us a view of the deck, and then give some highlights of the cards you that were the linchpins.
Absolutely. So, in my opinion, actually, the star of this deck is actually Scully.
Yep.
So if the Outriders have any downside whatsoever, it's the fact that they can't heal. Like they have 3 health, one ass, sorry, one butt. So that means that and when they if they get stunned, like they get stunned, and if you start like swarming the field and you have like one drops that can stun them, like they feel real sad. But Scully comes in, she heals a wound from somebody who has one health. I'm sorry, one wound on them, and then you pay a space, which you have to run the wilds. There are no spaces in photo. You
Mm.
pay. I'm sorry,
Earth,
Earth,
Earth, Earth,
Earth,
Earth.
Earth. I told you guys it's late. You have to
Yeah.
run their wild, so you pay a Earth, and you can heal another one. So if it wasn't for Scully, all of my games against Mirror would have ended on turn 3. I mean, they're supposed to end on turn 3. That's just how the Mirror is supposed to work. But in top, that was a little different. Um,
Yeah.
if I could change anything about this, it would be Thanos. I did
Mm.
not recruit him the entire weekend.
You
Uh,
were just beating people too quickly.
yeah, I was either losing too quickly or I was winning too quickly.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
a
yeah.
certain extent, even ego. Like I recruited him once, and it was literally I recruited him, and they called game, so they just scooped because they couldn't get past ego.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, just running down the list. Obviously, you got your Outriders. I ran 3 yellows and 3 X Files. These are both for obviously Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. Looking back on it, if I was to change anything, I would not change this, and it's because of the Bifrost.
Yeah.
The Bifrost, your main character has to pay a location. The only ones I'm running are the yellows. What an idea I had that I didn't get to execute because I was reading it correctly. The main deck that was beating that was beating all dogs was Kate Kelly. It was
Right.
Kate Kelly. They were running the Sentinels. The main thing that they were doing though is they were recruiting one Sentinel. So then when we tried to recruit our Yondus, we tried to use our Grandmasters, anything like that,
Mhm.
they would just MCA him. But the
Right.
combo that you have is you Bifrost their Sentinel, they can no longer play MCA, and then you can go ahead and do whatever you want.
Yep. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Bifrost definitely a slept on card.
Absolutely. And then we have I Thought You Were Glad to See Me, obviously +3/+3. It's good for the mirror. It's also good for, if you need to hide your last dog, and you save all these for dire situations.
Right.
Um,
All right.
I Need Your Help goes without saying. You search for a card, put it on the top. Like it's arguably the best search card in the game.
Yep.
You got Deep Throat. Deep Throat is the one that whenever you draw a card, if it's a supporting character, it goes to the KO pile. That's
Yep.
for the whole turn, which is great because for X, which takes everything but a supporting character,
Mhm.
if they try to cane, if they ghost, anything like that, it comes to their hand, it gets discarded. So this can actually potentially steal turns. I know it stole a turn from Rogue, where
Yep.
she needed a blue and she needed to recruit Kane. Couldn't recruit Kane because if she did, it would literally just go to the KO pile.
Yeah. Yeah.
So great card.
Mhm.
And then we'll get into the staples before we get into like the choices, right? So
Yep.
staples are Frohike, Langley, and Briars. Don't
Mhm.
really need to explain those. Get cards out of your deck, draw cards, give people negative counters. Like it's insane. This package right here by itself is insane. And on top of that, they let you play Deep Throat and X. Like,
Yeah.
and I Need Your Help. So it's bad.
Yeah.
Another staple, obviously, are Yondu and Grandmaster. Um, Now it was interesting. I played Ryan again, and we actually did get to turn four. It was kind of weird. Got to turn four, and I had the thought of, do I want to play a positive Yandu and Grandmaster so I can get three counters and potentially survive, or
Mhm.
do I want to play negative Yandu, stun his board, and try to protect somebody else? Ultimately, I
Right.
picked the wrong choice, but anyway, we'll get back to that later. Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
Mordu, obvious staple, comes in, says your guys can't pay for anything.
Mhm.
Um, any main that has flight that needs to pay for it. So you got Carol, you got Rogue, you got who else was I thinking about? I thought about Storm too.
Mhm.
Um, I quickly got off of her, but
Mhm. Yeah.
Mordu Mordu shuts all that stuff down. Another staple is Hella. She literally gives everybody on your side lethal. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, and especially when you have dogs, like sometimes I found like you drop Hella and like your main character just kind of can't cut the mustard. Like she doesn't have great stats for a 5 drop, so if your
That's
main
right.
character is like doesn't have enough juice, it's like she just kind of gets KO'd and nothing happens. But if you have dogs and they can stun basically anything by themselves, yeah, you're gonna be lethaling people left and right.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, and especially when not too many MCs can protect against six dogs that all have ferocious, right?
Yeah,
It gets kind of difficult when you know for a fact you're gonna get stunned.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So she basically says, no tricks, no hiding. Like you're gonna have to come fight me, and you just gotta be better than me.
Mhm. Yep,
Um,
yep, yep.
I would say Eagle is a staple simply because he protects the dogs. Once you get to turn 7, if you still have all your dogs, then yeah, you're gonna fight. But chances are by turn 7, you're down to maybe like 3, maybe 2, even possibly one dog. Eagle says like you're gonna have to team attack me to get over me. And in this format, surprisingly, I didn't see a lot of team attacks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was usually people were picking a box so they can get their MC, picking another box so they can get whatever engine they're trying to run, and then picking another box so they can get finishers. Nobody really picked boxes that I'm gonna team attack all day. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah. So ego's even a little bit better than usual.
yeah, definitely a lot better. And then obviously the Scully and Mulder, like. Well, initially when I was talking to the test group, we thought that a lot of people weren't going to fall on Scully and Mulder, but after testing for a while, I knew clearly that it's the better choice. And the only reason I feel like it's the better choice for the tournament that we went to is because we were expecting to see Adams, we were expecting to see a couple of rogues, we were expecting to see Sue.
Hmm.
A lot of people that sleep, and they were basically going to try to sleep until they get to DP. And
Yep.
yeah, Mulder just cuts all that out for yellow.
Yeah.
You just get your hand and your deck, just take it all out.
Yeah.
And Thanos, he was an addition that I would definitely have changed. I didn't test the mirror a lot. Thanos came into play when it was against Warlock. I think a couple of our testings, Thanos was really important against
Yeah.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
cause he, mhm,
like Warlock can't keep a board.
right,
He doesn't have all his tools, so he can't keep a board. He can sleep, he can ramp, so he can drop something big, but he's only got one big thing. So if you can throw out Thanos, you KO that one thing. He's got no board again. Like Warlock is not generally a deck, like especially in this format there, where he's dropping like 2, 3 characters a turn. He's dropping one.
right. And especially once he wakes up, he wants to recruit one big guy and just
Yep.
block so he doesn't die, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because that was another issue. Warlock only had 3 health. Like
Right.
once he gets woken up, you're guaranteed to stun that turn because you're not prepared, right? You're not prepared to defend him as on turn 6, probably even on turn 7. So if he gets woken up on turn 7, like that's the first stun. That's almost guaranteed.
Yep. Yep.
But
So let's see. Round one, to take nothing away from Ryan's win over you. Sounds like he lucked out. He went first. He got a couple of Yondus, and that was GG. What was round two?
Uh, so I'm mixing these up, but I think round two uh was against Mr. Fantastic MC.
I think that's right.
Yeah, so went up against Mr. Fantastic, and I
Who's that,
I
Ralph Cole?
I believe that was Ralph Cole. I gotta go back and look. I have it written down. Um,
Yeah.
but the deck was very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It uh it ran Sentinels. I didn't get to see what it was supposed to do. Unfortunately, Mordu came down and he said, you're not searching for your level up. Like you're just gonna have to do what you can.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Fantastic, everybody knows, like he can't level up until turn 6. I think that's the
Right.
earliest he can level, and he has to kind of search for his pieces. I think most of the decks they run like four Johnny, four Thing, and then
Yep.
they run one Sue and they try to search her, with the red.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, since I got Mortal down, he was unable to search, and then after that, it was just dogs having fun, biting at Mister Fantastic's toes, uh, doing everything they could, but he got wrecked. I felt bad for him.
Yeah. So that was round two. Round three. What happened there?
Round three, I'm pretty sure that was the match I had against Dutch.
Yep. I think it was.
Think that his name was Gabriel, right? I believe so.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, love the deck concept. Not even gonna lie, it was taking into account that there won't be a lot of team attacks. He was getting his reds. He got everything pretty much everything he needed. But again, Mordu. I have to say he was probably the MVP of the weekend. He came down. He stopped a lot of stuff. Once Mordu came out, dogs just ran through his board. There was no way to defend against all the stuff. I do know that I had to play around Ish Happens and Death Trap. So instead of doing just like the typical, oh, I'm going to send two in, I would send, two, three, four. If I thought that he had like multiple tricks, I would have to go in with maybe even five dogs just to get him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I high rolled a grandmaster on turn 4, and after turn 4, it was just like, all right, now I don't really have to worry about your tricks too much, because
Right.
they're not going to get stunned once they start getting 2, 4, 6, 8. And I had to make sure that he didn't level, because once he started
Yeah.
leveling, he probably had like 4 or 5, not 4 or 5, 3 or 4 yellows in his hand.
Yeah.
If he did anything to get rid of Mordo, then it was just GG for me. He's just going to start KOing the dogs that have the less wounds.
Hmm.
Um,
So you got the dub for that as well.
yep.
Yeah, and then round four.
Round 4 was really a blur to me. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I was so tired and so hungry. I apologize to who I played against, but I don't remember who I played round 4. Like, if I got the MC and I was able to figure it out, I could give like a better rundown. But I
Was
think
it?
round
Was it?
4 was one of the ones where I got up pretty early.
Okay.
It
Was it? It
wasn't it
wasn't.
wasn't a mirror match though. I only played one mirror, and that was against Ryan.
Okay. It wasn't. And it wasn't Bert. And it wasn't John.
Um, did I beat? I played Bert in top, so no. I
Okay.
played John in the last round, round 5.
Yes. 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 Okay. Yeah. So round four is a mystery.
Yeah, round 4 is a mystery. I'll have to go back and see if I can find out who it was. I think somebody has it for me.
This
But
is. Talk about you. You talk about the John match, and I think I can find out who it was.
yeah. So John's match was funny. So he was undefeated up until that point, and he got pared down to me because I think he was the only undefeated, and we had an number of people, but he still needed to get pared down. And I sat across from him, and I was like, "Look, listen, you're 4-0. I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let you go 5-0 to get to top. Like you're going to have to take this L." So
Yep.
he was playing. He was playing Kate Kelly,
Yep.
and I kind of understood what the deck wanted to do. They wanted to get out the 3-drop cloak and just wheel, right?
Yep.
So I knew from turn 1 that if he didn't have the 3-drop cloak on the field from turn 1, that it was a good possibility that I was going to win.
Yeah.
So I won I'm pretty sure that was the one where I won the die roll,
Hmm.
and obviously I chose to go first.
Yeah.
Went first, and I obviously stunned, and then on his turn two, he didn't have it down. So I was like, okay, great, let's fight this out. It turned into a slugfest. I was able to get Grandmaster and Yandu out. I believe he MCA Grandmastered on the turn that he came out, but he didn't have anything for him on the following turn. So then my dog started getting counters, and after that, there was no way Cloak would be able to stun them, even if I would have got through to him immediately. Um, it was a pretty good match, but I actually didn't even realize that that was the last round. So when I got up from it, we all just like kind of looked. I was like, "Oh yeah, I ruined your undefeated streak to get to top." So I was very happy about
There you go.
that.
No big deal.
Yeah, not at all. No, no. Gotcha.
Um, so let's see this. So were you then the first seed going into, or was I think John was still the first seed, and you were the second seed going into the top eight.
That's right. So I was the first seed. I'm sorry, John was the first seed. I was second, and I think I
Yep.
was second because of Ryan lost later than I did. I lost in the first round and then went out. And my only loss was to Ryan, and then Ryan obviously lost to. I think he lost to. Actually, I'm not sure who Ryan lost to, but he only
I'm
had one
not
loss.
sure. Yeah.
And after seeing the standings, I was really happy. I only looked at like the top four. I was like, yeah, that's right. I wanted to get first, but you know what? It's okay. I got second. And I started looking down, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that Bert was in seventh, and what was really interesting is that two and three, I think it was me and Ryan, we had identical records, and we also had identical percentages. John had
Oh,
a
really?
better percentage than I did, but our percentages were equal, and 6 and 7 was the same as well. Exact same record, exact same percentages. So they could have been flipped. I actually could have been third, which
Yeah.
I think I should have been because I lost to Ryan, right? And I think
Yeah.
Ryan only lost to John. So I think he should have been second. I should have been third. And then obviously 6 and 7. I don't know if they should have been switched, but either way, I felt like I shouldn't have been playing Bert.
Mhm.
But
Knowing the result of the match, I feel like Bert thinks you shouldn't have played him either.
yeah, right. That was. It was kind of hard because I think there was three other people at the tournament that were technically like I came with them technically because I did have a test group, and I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to play any of those people, and I ended up playing them back to back. One right before top, and then one right after top. So
Yeah.
um, the it was pretty wrecked. I definitely took a breather after we made top. Like we all broke. We went to lunch, and I was just sitting at the table, just kind of reflecting and thinking about what I needed to do in order to get the dub against Bert because he played the same deck that that John did. So it
Yep.
was it was one of those. It was definitely in the back of my mind during our little hour break.
Fair enough. How did the match go with Bert?
So I can't lie, that was the most stressful match I had the entire day. And
Fair
it's only
enough.
because I know Bert, I know his play style, I know he's like a methodical thinker. I know that while I'm playing him, I have to constantly be thinking, right? Because if I'm not constantly thinking, then he's gonna outthink me, and he might not have the better hand, but because he outthought me and he outplayed me, I took the L. I wasn't gonna let that happen this time. I played against him numerous times, whether it be testing, not too many tournaments, but we definitely have like theory crafted and stuff together. I respect him a lot. Big shouts to Big Three, obviously. He's like three of the most influential people in this game. But um, sat across from him, and he immediately learned that because I was the higher seed, I got to pick who goes first,
Big.
which is huge, right? But the funny thing is I was like, you know what? I don't want him to get extra cards. So I actually wanted him to go first.
Hmm.
So I figured that if he had it in his opening hand, if he had the cloak in his opening hand, it is what it is. I lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if he didn't have the cloak in his opening hand, I have a chance. And I get to like wheel and try to, I get I get Yandu out first. I get Grandmaster out first if he doesn't have it in his opening hand. So I was like, all right, let's see how this works. It worked to my benefit. First game, he didn't draw the cloak. I
Mhm.
think we got to turn. I think we got to turn 4, and I hit every drop, and I even hit Langley on turn 2, and I was just getting cards out of his hand, putting negative counters on guys on that he had on the field. So I was just doing that, and he just said, you know what, let's just go ahead and start game 2. Let's not drag this out, which I'm thankful for, obviously, because I don't want to sit there the whole time and all of a sudden he thinks of a way to beat me. I don't need that.
Right, 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 yeah.
But game two was stressful. He chose to go second. No, no, I'm sorry. He chose to go. Yeah, no, he chose to go second. And
Yep.
I had the same game plan, same thought process. We both were like opening hands. We looked at him, and I was like, and I think he was waiting to see if I was gonna mulligan or not. And I was just kind of like thinking it out. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I mulliganed, and as soon as I mulliganed, he mulliganed. Shuffled up, got my opening hand, and I was like, all right, this is much better. And it happened to him again. My cuts are legendary. I can't lie.
that,
But the
that
game. Mm?
that in the biceps, yeah, in the beard.
Oh man, the biceps are coming.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
the last I remember specifically the last turn that I had against Bert and Top. He had two Sentinels on the field. One of them had Violent, the other had Berserker, and he had just MCA my Langley, so my Langley was sitting in the back, a blank card at that point. Uh, I had I had a couple other. Those are the only important ones though. I had Langley, I had my dogs, and obviously he just MCA my Langley, so I had some power ups in my hand. After a lot of deliberation, it probably I'm not even exaggerating. It was probably a good 10 minutes of deliberation of him trying to like think it out because he needed to make sure that whatever he was going to do was going to go through, and I was just thinking, how can I block whatever he's trying to do? So it was a
Right.
pretty interesting deliberation. But afterwards, he team attacked into Langley, and honestly, in my opinion, that was like the best thing for me
Yep.
because since Langley was now in combat, I could do all my power up tricks.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So the first thing I did is I powered up with Briars,
Mhm.
um, got rid of a card out of his hand, and I also stunned his one drop that had Violent because it didn't have any counters on it.
Right, 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 yeah.
So then started cycling through. I got a 4 hike. I got another Briars. I think I got two 4 hikes. So I got rid of his entire hand actually. So he basically had
Huh.
no hand.
That that is a sweet salty feeling right there.
Yeah, and for me it was like it was the best thing that I could have did. I mean the best thing that he could have done for me. But if he would have went anywhere else first, I don't think it would have went the way that it went. But
Mm.
because of that, and because I was able to get all the cards out of his hand, I ultimately ended up winning that game. And
Yep.
that game was rough. I think we both went outside. We took a break. I took a couple of couple of hits of water and just calmed down and try to like really figure it out. I was really upset that I had to play him in top, especially in the first round of top. If it was like top 4, I would have been all right, but top 8 and you're the first one, that hurts, man. It hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um it was GG after that. Like Bert, he's obviously a great player. Nobody wants to face him in a tournament ever. Uh, he got low rolled in our game, so
Mhm. Mhm.
that
So
sucks.
that was the first round of the top 8, and then
hmm
who'd you have for the second round?
So second round, it was my only other mirror match of the day. I played against Ryan again.
Ah.
Yeah, and it was a script. It was exactly scripted, except for our second game.
Yep.
Our second game was it our second or third game? I think it was our second game. Um, it was all over the place. When we were playing each other, we both admitted like in mirror matches, it never went past turn 4,
Yep.
and we were both like we were high rolling Yondus, we were high rolling Scullies, we were high rolling Langley and Briars, and it was really interesting. And I had a really good turn one against him, where I got Frohike out and I had two Briars in my hand. So I was able to stun two dogs just off of the power ups. I was like, all right, great. This is definitely going my way.
Yeah.
But then when I was attacking into his other dogs, he started popping out. I thought you would be glad to see me's. And I was like, oh my God, he's literally turning the tide back on me. It was rough.
Yeah, I saw that on the stream. I was like, and again, to take nothing away from Ryan's ability, I was like, my man has multiple glad to see me's in hand. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, my cutting powers they failed me that time because that hurt, and it was those plot twists that really turned the tide and said, "All right, Brian's got the upper hand now." And it was great playing against him though. I can't lie. Like that was the most enjoyable mirror match that I've ever played.
Yeah, it was interesting too. I have not played a lot of dog mirror matches, and when I was watching the stream, I was like, Jesus, it's like you know when basically it's probably over once someone gets the die roll and is going first, and it's definitely over once they drop a Yondu. Like it's
Absolutely.
like, ooh,
Because it's like you go first, you swing. Chances are they don't have too many of these plot twists, in their hand because it's like it's your
yeah,
opening seven.
yeah,
Um, if you get Frohike, what's hilarious is that if you get Frohike and you get one power up, he could take out a dog too, save a wound. You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
No,
it was pretty interesting. Uh, the mirror matches, like all the different things that you could do. I almost ran some other one drops just for the mirror match, but decided against it. Should have ran
mm,
Ant Man. I don't even know if he's in the box. No, he's in good.
in heroes, yeah.
Yeah, he's in the heroes.
Um, Okay, so you lost to him, but you finished top four, namely third place. So a
Yes, sir.
strong showing.
Yes, yes, and I want to give a big, like you don't know how big shout out to D Rob, aka David Robinson, my man. I made last minute changes. I put in an extra X Files, and I also what else did I put in? I put in another card. Oh yes, and I put in a fourth. I need your help. But seeing as I was traveling for this tournament, I actually did not bring them with me. So I hit up D Rob and he said, "Yeah, I got it, but you got to give me the dub." Oh, wait, did I play D Rob? No, I didn't play D Rob. He's like, "You got to give me the dub if I play you." I was like, "You know what? I understand. I understand, sir."
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to him because he made my deck legal. Otherwise, I would have been playing a very substandard deck. Um,
No, yeah, he's a good guy. He did a lot of hard work, especially with taping all the matches and stuff like that, and especially,
Absolutely.
and also all the hard work he does with the Buckeye League. We really appreciate him and the other Buckeye guys.
Yo, for real, man. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have all this practice, right? Because before the Buckeye League, I actually hadn't even played with Photo. I
Right.
I was like, I don't know what Photo does. I know they're strong, but I don't know what the hell they do. So, shout out to D Rob and everybody at Buckeye League. Um, really appreciate you guys for real. And also, shout out to Paper Games. That is arguably one of the best stores I have ever been in terms of gaming. Like it
Yeah, I
has
saw they
everything.
had the clock on the wall and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
it's not like paper stats and whatnot. It's on the computer. It's big enough for everyone to see. Great.
absolutely. Plus, they had those elusive Batman sleeves. I picked up literally all four boxes that they had left in stock. Uh,
Nice.
like, and plus,
Nice.
I think that was the owner that opened up the shop for us early. Real cool dude, real down to earth. I chatted with him for a little bit. Um, awesome people. If you're in that area, visit the store, show some support. They gave us the comic that they gave us for the tournament on Sunday.
Yep.
Ooh, first
Yeah.
issue of the death of Gwen Stacy, man,
Fly comic. Fly comic.
so great. And I think that comic is worth like $200. They just said, "Here you go." Eh.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was
Um,
great.
what I was gonna ask you too. Oh, so I don't think I mean you might have, but I don't think you ever told me if you had a name for this deck. But may I suggest one?
Go for it.
canine unit because it's both the law and the dog.
I like it. I like it. Canine unit. Let's go with that. Cause listen, if I got 6 dogs chasing me and the cops are waving their badge, I'm man,
Yeah,
what?
no, I give up. I surrender.
Right? And then just to top off my weekend, my man's Veet Veet signed my dogs.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
shout out to Veets, man, because without him, we probably wouldn't have all these tournaments. He's working hard for us over at Upper Deck.
Yep, no, for sure. Yeah, no, straightening out the ironing out the wrinkles in the rule book.
Absolutely, man. And this was just like a well run tournament. Really enjoyed it. The format, while I think if dogs would have been banned, would have opened up the floodgates for a lot of other stuff because Adam Warlock, he's not oppressive. Like you can still pick him up. You can run tricks to pick him up. Rogue is not oppressive. You can just range attack her all day. Dogs are oppressive.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I mean, it's just we did the Buckeye. You and I did both did the Buckeye League,
Hmm.
and we're gonna do a tournament report about that soon. But
Absolutely.
the last season was build an arc, and I beat a rogue, and I watched some other people beat Adam. So like, if the dogs were out of the format, it definitely would have been more like rock paper scissors, and there would have been more things available.
Absolutely. It would have been a lot more diverse. Although, while top 8 was diverse, all 4 dogs made it to top 8, and
Yeah,
3 out of 4 made it to top 4. So
yeah, 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 yeah.
it says something. But you know what? We're going to be rotating out of this format after this. So hopefully we get something else that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, supposedly the word on the street is that we're gonna find out tomorrow what the new format is.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
yeah, no, me as well. Well, thank you for letting me interview you. This was fun, and I hope it was both fun and informative for our listeners.
Absolutely. And guys, if you ever want to test, hit me up. I have a Google schedule that I do not adhere to. You can ask Pat. I'm literally always canceling on him. I'm sorry, man. Uh, but
He keeps me guessing. He keeps me guessing on the playmat and off the playmat.
absolutely. But
Am I available now? Nope.
nope. Maybe tomorrow. I'll hit him up at 11:30 at night. Hey, you want to go on now?
I'm like I'm on the West Coast, so it's only 8:30. Let's do this.
Exactly. And then I fall asleep while I'm shuffling my cards. But
Mhm.
really appreciate everybody and all the work that came into this tournament. Um, I will definitely be returning next year if they have it again at Paper Games. Paper Games, keep doing what you guys are doing. You guys are phenomenal. Love. They had something that was actually really interesting to me, and it made me feel really safe. Um, when I walked into the store the first time, somebody from behind the counter said, "Hey, how are you?" I was like, "Oh shit, hey."
Yeah.
And then I came back the second day, and when I walked in the store, he was like, "Hey, welcome back." I was like, "Yo, he recognizes me."
That's yeah. I mean, it's just like anyone in the service industry. I mean, it's no secret, but so few people do it. Just being personable. No, absolutely. Like
Right.
just hey, what's up? Hey, good to see you again, and stuff like that. And whether they meant it, even if they didn't mean it, it's smart business. And I suspect they did because it did sound like they were a bunch of good guys.
Absolutely, man. Everybody that worked there, obviously the owner was freaking amazing. John obviously was great. To was amazing. Um, our judge, shout out to him because I think he's at every major event, and he is always on point. Like great stuff. Yeah, I gotta thank everybody, and again, thank you for doing this with me. Thanks to
Oh
my
no,
my testing team.
absolutely, man. Our pleasure. We'll get going, but we will be back soon with some more content.
Absolutely, thanks a lot. And last but not least, shout out to obviously Thunder Pals. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do this. And obviously, shout out to Buckeye Lee because you guys are awesome. Shameless plug, like and subscribe. Whoop, whoop. I said subscribe. Jesus, like and subscribe.
Nailed it.
Right.